Okay, we're starting some of our factoring problems here. I call it unfoiling. I don't like to separate the two, but I'm stuck on my video setup. This first problem is rather easy. There's a couple of principles that you need to learn. We'll do a lot of this, and we can practice some if you're confused in any way. Let us know what you need. Here, you're trying to put this into this format here and figure what combination will give you this. To get x squared, there's only one way to do that, and that is x times x. So we happen to have our first two terms. That was simple. That positive sign, I told some of you a second ago, that positive sign tells us that when we get here on the factoring, we're going to have a combination. That means they're going to be the same signs. It can be either plus and plus, or it could be minus and minus. That term tells you right there, of the two, which is it going to be? That's right. It's a negative and a negative. Since I have the x in there, I can put the sign in right now. What I'm looking for here are two factors of 6. Now, why would there be a plus 6? Because the last part of foiling would be the negative sign times that negative sign, the last times the last. What factors of 6 add up to 5? That sign tells you that the factors from here are going to add up to that negative 5. That's going to be a negative 2 and a negative 3. Let's FOIL it, and then you'll see it. X times x, x squared. X times a minus 3, minus 3x. Minus 2, minus 2x. And negative 2 times a negative 3 is a plus 6. Negative 3 combined with the negative 2 is our negative 5. The two factors, they multiplied give us 6. Now add together, since we're adding on this line, to give us our negative 5 there. That's how you unfoil and factor. Now I've got a harder problem here. It's harder for this reason. You don't have the easy first term of x and x. Here you have the 2x squared. Now, in a way, this is not too bad. The only way to get 2, since it's a prime number, is 2 times 1. So what we have is we have a 2x and a 1x for our two factors. 2x times x is 2x squared. What I have here is a negative sign. That means these two signs here are going to be different. That's right. The plus and the minus combination. Now, that also means you're going to not add the factors, you're going to subtract the two factors of 12 mixed with that 2. It's a little dicey, but let's go together and do it. What factors of 12 and 2 and 1 will give me 5 when I subtract their totals? By the way, that plus sign tells me something I'll show you in a second. We've got the factors of 12. The x factors are 2 and 1. Okay? Over here, I've got the number 12. Now that can be done by 3 and 4, or 6 times 2, or 12 and 1. Very seldom is it 12 and 1. Usually on the test it'll be a 3 and 4, or a 6 and 2. You can look at the answers if they give you multiple choice as well, and see if like 3 of the answers predominantly reflect the 3 and 4 pattern, or the 6 and 2, or the 12 and 1. It's a clue. You can work that way. What I do is I multiply the 2 and 1 because of the foiling process of the first times the last and the inner times this one here. Now, the inner and the inner. On the FOIL process, the 2x, let's keep that. We're trying to get a difference of 5. If I have 2 times, let's try the 6. What would 2 times 6 be? That would be 12, and that would be 1 times 2, and 2. When you subtract 2 from 12, since you got 2 times 6 and 1 times 2, you get 12 and 2. When you subtract those two totals, you get a 10. That's not my 5. That won't work. Well, let's change this. Let's put a 1 here on the 6, and let's put a 2 right here on the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 6 is 6. The difference between 4 and 6, two totals is going to be 1 times 6 was 6, and 2 times 2 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. It's not my 5. So I've tried both directions on this one, and it doesn't work. The next I'm going to try is here. 2 times 3, what is that? And 1.4. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. That's not it. And so, let me erase this one here. And I'm going to change this and this. Let's make it 1 times 3 and 2 times 4. Now 2 times the 4, as if it were right out here, is going to be 8. And 1 times 3 is going to be 3. 8 minus 3 equals what? There you go. There's your 5 right there. So the answer is going to be this pattern here. The 3 and the 4 factors of 12. Now, the 2 has to multiply the 4. So that means the 4 must go over here to match the 2x. And the 3 with the 1x goes right there. Now, we have a different sign. We're going to FOIL this in a second, and I'll show it to you. This gets kind of tricky. It becomes a lot of mental math. It's why you have to be good at this and do some reps and practice. You don't get it overnight. Nobody does. Let's FOIL this real quick and look at it. This positive sign here tells me that when you subtract that 2 times 4, which is 8, minus the 3x, you got to have a minus here because that's a plus sign. The larger of the two is going to be a positive because that middle term is positive. 2 times 4x. Let's do the whole thing. That's 2x squared. And this here is a plus 8x. That is a negative 3x. And that is negative times positive is a negative 12. That right there is my plus 5x. Yes, you just factored that animal right there. This is the answer. 2x minus 3 and x plus 4. Very good. We'll do some more of these till you're a genius at it.